Okay, I just streamed for whatever, 3 hours. But now I put on this jacket so I'm a little warmer. This is a new thing for me. Trying to, I normally, I think it's living in Seattle and then living in New York, all my clothes became like black and gray and no pattern, maybe t-shirts with something on them. But now I got this, trying a new thing. Kind of a Portland look because I've been here for a while. Um, Hello. We're going to continue this Balatro round. Game. Run is the term I want to use. Let's go here. That looks right. Okay, so we'll do a little check-in on where we are. And what's going to be funny is if I just die immediately. If I die immediately, well, I have the save and maybe we'll just back up. But the last night, it was kind of late in the evening and I was thinking like, maybe to wind down, I want to play a little Balatro. Maybe I'll just do a run on stream, totally casual. Just do a nice casual run on stream. And it ended up being 4 hours, which sometimes happens. And then it kind of seemed like maybe it had potential. And the thing about the run that's funny, let's hop in here, is we had a number of very lucky things happen, like fortuitous things, but at kind of like unlucky times. Like we kind of got some vouchers that were good, but we got them a little bit early. We got certain things earlier that again, a lot of like what makes something good or bad in a Balatro run is about like when it happens in the run. Some things we got early and were very good. There's some things we haven't seen yet. I think we took forever to get a purple seal, which was kind of insane. Anyway, the pacing of this run has been weird. Also, we almost ate it. Like we were basically at the point where we could not score enough to continue and made it through NT16 with like a combination of like some desperate, like I had the idol, but it was falling offline. Unfortunately, because the deck fixing wasn't there. We finally got the deck fixed like by the seat of our pants. Even when the deck was almost fixed, the idol was still hitting the wrong thing. Only with photo chat and mime, actually. Some people will tell you they only think of mime as an accessory to the Baron. I like the mime. I think the mime is like a valuable fellow. We got that online. We had gotten DNA and we're adding some cards to our deck and we're kind of moving along, getting to the point that's like, okay, scoring's getting a little concerning. We're hitting a point where like maybe we're a bit worried about scoring, but we're doing okay. I'm trying to think of the last time we got both of the like back in time vouchers a little bit early. The first one is fine to get early. The second one, getting it early, is a little bit of a bummer in some ways. But we're in a like pretty decent position in terms of what we got going on, in terms of our ability to make money, and in terms of being able to score and all that stuff. This worked out actually quite well. I think we had gotten a relatively early brainstorm. I think we got one from a showman. I think we got one from a invisible joker that hit in the perfect way. Oh, the other thing that was crazy about this run, we got a very early Upsal 6s and got an ectoplasm, but then had to carry it for like 16 antes. So we only had one consumable slot, but I was just certain I wanted to use it, and I wanted to use it at a time that we were doing a pivot. In this case, I think from PhotoChad to Idle, so that we could guarantee it would hit a blueprint or a brainstorm. We've done a ton of re-rolling, and some things weirdly we just haven't seen. Like we haven't hit a blueprint. We've been making a pretty substantial amount of money and doing a lot of re-rolling. We also have been trying to gear up for a voucher skip. We have not seen many colas, unfortunately. I think one or two I had to skip just because we couldn't manage, but like we saw some voucher skips very early and haven't seen them since. So all that is to say, we just landed on this guy. And sort of last night, I just wanted to see, like, can we actually get through NT16? And we did. If we were just entertaining the idea of this being a nan-inf run, I mean, there's kind of no way, at least for me, that I know of to, like, make this a run to NT39. But, like, hitting nan-inf is, like, we have some of the pieces. The pieces that are missing are, one, we absolutely need, not immediately, but hopefully sooner rather than later, we need to get the boss reroll voucher. We have some garbage vouchers headed our way, like that do nothing for us. The vouchers that we don't have, or upgraded versions of vouchers that we do have. Some are just straight up like, this is useless to us now. These vouchers do nothing but make our temperatures worse. Like, these are in the place we are now in the run. These are really bad vouchers. Upgrading, I can't remember if we got both of those yet. I don't think we don't have the Omen Globe yet. We only very recently got the Crystal Ball. We kind of don't need the Omen Globe. It would have been nice to get it earlier because we could not get a purple seal for the life of us, like checking so many standard packs. And by the time we finally got a purple seal, our deck fixing was almost done and we didn't need it anymore. But it was kind of fraught. We don't have these idiots, the worst vouchers that are they're like a debuff. These are actively harmful. Like, getting these is bad, and skipping them just means they'll show up again. So these suck. I think we took one of these. The second one would be a bummer because we will want to be looking for jokers. The main thing we are in need of is finding this guy. This guy is fine. We already took the first one. Not that big of a deal, but this is what we need. If anti-39 is gonna happen, it will only happen because we get this. So that is a thing that we need, is a voucher, and vouchers, you don't get a lot of opportunities to get vouchers. The second thing that we just require is money. The good news is, and we're in like fairly decent shape in that regard, in that we've got a whole deck of gold seal kings with no polychromes. I don't know if we ever even saw a polychrome. I think we got like our one purple somewhere. Yeah, we got one purple. We got one talisman. I think we had various other things that we've just kind of converted. We still have some that are not gold or not red seal that we would like to maybe do that with, but we also have DNA. And so we do want to maybe like expand our deck a little bit in the near term, but DNA is pretty replaceable for us at this moment. I think we just would like more of those kings. Polychrome is not going to matter because, well, I don't think it's going to matter, but anyway, we want to make money, and we need to make like kind of a lot of money, and we're actually way behind where we should be. We had to roll down a lot when we thought we were just gonna die. Another consideration, we've got the mime, there's a Baron here. I think we're at the moment that we're gonna do this pivot. I would have actually preferred, before finding the Baron, I would have preferred to have found a blueprint, and then we could have just cranked along, scoring ludicrous amounts with the idol and making ludicrous amounts of money with a blueprint in addition to these, maybe instead of the DNA. And then we just would have gone some antes, just making a lot of money, not worried about scoring, whatever. More copies of Ticket and more copies of Idol. We are getting to a point that like scoring is becoming a little more challenging. So like, just if we wanted to run some numbers, I think I'm sharing the game, so I can't easily share the like Balatro calculator. But if we just went to the Balatro calculator and say I have a mime and I have 3 brainstorms and I have an idol. Where's the idol? I mean, we could obviously just do the math here on how many times 2s we get to what power, but okay, and an idol, ignoring kind of DNA and money for the moment. And then we say that we have some cards that are gold seal. What did we go with? I think we're on spades. Gold, red seal, spades. And say we've got 5 of those. And that the idol is on, how do you set that actually? How do you say what hand the idol is going to trigger on? Oh, it's annoying. You got to do this thing. Sorry, it'll just take a minute. Okay. King of Spades. So I'm seeing, and what is our flush 5 level right now? Flush 5 is at level 50. So level 50 on the flush 5, we've got a mime, which is not actually helping us in scoring at this moment, unless we also add some steel cards to hand. So just with this on Plasma deck, we are at E27 is where we are with this current Joker lineup. Now, that's not entirely true because we do have a couple of steel cards, which is 1.2 times 1.2 times 1.2 times 1.2 times whatever we got going on, and then remembering that Plasma deck is going to cut that in half and square it. So like it's potentially a reasonable boost. In fact, we could just test it. We could say, let's add a couple steel cards to hand. And then, right, so with 2 steel cards in hand, kind of our max score is E30. And that's like, you know, we could do that. We could continue right now making money, doing the thing, and hitting E30, and that could be fine. We have to pivot to the Baron at a certain point. So the, like, you know, I'm certain, like, if Doc Spector of Balatro University was doing this run, he would say we don't need to take the Baron now, and would just make enough money to guarantee that he could reroll for it. In fact, I saw him do a Nanan run where he like passed on 4 Barons just to illustrate the point. So we could do this. We could add glass. We could add more steel cards. Like, we don't have to take the Baron right now. In fact, if I just had 1 more steel card and say I have 3 steel cards or 4 steel cards in hand, it's another E. Oopsie. Oops, sorry. Let's see. So no steel cards was, what just happened? Why did the, oh, sorry. Get that guy over there. Okay, E27, every steel card we add with a red seal, that's E28, E29, that's E30, E31, 32. So like we can get kind of another E per we can get kind of another E per steel card we hand. We're going to max out with that pretty quickly. So, you know, even when we get to 5 steel cards in hand, which isn't really realistic because I don't think our hand size is 10. I think maybe maximum we could have 4. We're at E32. And, you know, there's going to be some variance of that with like other, we'll pick up more Eris cards. We have some additions here. But we run out of gas pretty quickly. Like, we know we can get through this ante for sure, but can we go further than that? I don't know. With things as they are. Now, if we got a blueprint, that would make a big difference. So just like running the score, like let's go to no steel again. We're at E27. If we now add a blueprint, then we are instantly to E33. And then from there, we can start adding some, you know, if we just go with the 2 steel cards we have, we're up to E36. So like better, like longer survival, but maybe not the best. And again, we could maybe get a glass card in there somewhere, right? Like if we get a glass card in, what happens? We had glass. We could play that as a card as part of our hand. Let's do that. Oopsie. That gives us another E. Like, it feels hard unless we get even more copies or find ways to get more retriggers. You know, we get a Sock and Buskin. We get something like that. Like, I think a Sock and Buskin could be a big deal if we're finding more would not be as big as a deal as a blueprint, but then like, well, then how are we making money and so on and so forth. So all that is to say, either kind of the choice we have to make right now is either we say, okay, let's take the Baron and we will play as many cards as we can as money-making cards, copying the ticket, and then we will play a final hand, copying the Baron. That will take us pretty far. Just like if we drop the idol from the calculator here, and then we decide to add the Baron. And we don't. The problem is that we don't have the blueprint yet. That gets us to what's our hand size right now? I think we've done one ecto, but have both hand size vouchers. So we're 8 down to 7, back to 8 to 9. So I think we can play 9 cards in hand. Let's add some. Get back here. So I think that's 10 cards, right? So that would give us, if we can play a Baron with 10 cards in hand, sorry, 9 cards in hand, 9 kings in hand, that are all red seal, which we don't have yet. That's E39 just without the blueprint, and then adding the blueprint, which is going to be massively huge because then that lets us split where the scoring is. That takes us to E52. And so that is a tremendous leap there. And that perhaps carries us long enough to like make some things happen. So, and then I guess the one, again, if the actual goal is to try to hit Nanimp, we need to find the retcon voucher. We need to make a ton of money. We need to find a blueprint. We need to be able to score. And we need to eventually find the the burglar to play the, we need to find the burglar to do what? We need to find the burglar to kind of game the serpent to give us a bunch more cards to play. So the choice at this moment again is, can we pivot to Baron at this moment, selling the idol, meaning we're just going in saying we're gonna do the Baron now. One concern about that is, do we even have enough cards to do that? And especially, do we have enough red seal cards to do that? Because if we don't have red seals, and we then say that we have, even with 9 cards in hand, I did this wrong, I apologize. I realize this is not interesting when you can't see it, so I'm trying to move past this, but so no red seals, no blueprint is E27. So we can get through this ante. This is mildly annoying, but whatever. But, you know, we barely get through this ante. Now we have more scoring than that, and we will make money, and we will re-roll, and we will find blueprint, hopefully. So I think, even though it's maybe not the ideal time in terms of like, if you were going to say the goal is to make money, we want to be playing flush 5s on every single hand, which means that's 25 cards to play. And then we get some left over for the mime to trigger on. And that's how we do it. Alternatively, we switch to this dude. We still try to play those hands and try to make as much money as we can from those hands 4 times. And then on the last card, we swap here and we make more money from the mime until at a certain point we could switch to steel in hand. So there's a bigger ceiling over here. So I think I'm going to do it I don't really want to do it now. Again, I would have really preferred to see a blueprint here, but rolling past this, even though I think we could survive and we could find ways to survive, to find the blueprint and find the Baron again, I'm not sure of the value of the trade-off, because yes, we can make more money potentially in the interim with the idol, but we may have to spend a lot of that money to find the Baron, I guess, is the reasoning I will put forth. So this is scary to do. I don't want to do this. The thing that would make me feel better is to sell the DNA and just say that we're keeping the idol. But let's do this. Again, if I'm just totally wrong on the math, then like maybe we just roll back the save. But I think that's right. In terms of our vouchers, we don't actually have any of the interest vouchers, so we could choose to re-roll a few times. We're going to want to copy this guy. We should be saving up some money. The other thing that's a bummer now is like if we hit a cola, do we take it? I don't know. I don't know the answer. I don't have all the answers. Okay, I shouldn't have spent all my money. There's my friend the idol's back. I guess whatever. We're doing this. So E25 with this new setup. We're copying DNA because we immediately want copies of Red Seal Kings. We also want to use our Death and Fool to try to deal with these Naked Kings, because I think we still have a fair number of Naked Kings, because it took us a lot of effort to get this deck online. DNA is a hand that is not going to be making money for us. We just need to get more cards in the deck. Maybe we stop at like 50. I don't know. I don't actually remember like what you need for the Nanymph we got before. We only needed 34, but those were all, we had like more blueprints, more brainstorms, everything. So I don't know. But we definitely want to do this. So let's do this. Okay. Now we want to do this, and we want to start. I don't know that there's a ton of value here. Like our high card, we have been leveling it up in the background in anticipation of this pivot, but like, is it critical? I don't know. To like keep this hanging around and not scoring extra, I don't know the answer. I'm just gonna play cards. Kind of the question is, we don't gain anything from discarding right now. The question is, am I just gonna play only red seals to maximize score, knowing that that affects, sorry, maximize money, knowing that affects my score? I can see, you know, my base number of cards is 9. Actually, I was thinking it was 10. Do we not have both hand size vouchers? We do. We took 1 ecto. 8 minus 1 plus 2 is 9, not 10. I don't know why I was thinking that. Sorry. We will have 8 cards in hand. Did I do that correctly on the calculator? What did I do? Yeah, that was E24 with naked cards. So, like, we can't play naked cards. If we have 4 cards that have red seals, say, that gets us to E27. So we have to have some red seals in hand, and we want red seals in hand anyway, just for the mime to retrigger. So we want to kind of try to end up with 9 red seals available to us at the end. It looks like we probably have that, but let's be a little careful. A little bit careful. But I think we play this, copying this, and just go. We just go. We also, just for the little boost, want the steal in the last hand. And we may find that we are able to discard things we don't like. I don't have any like quality of life mods here. Maybe I should. Do I think I can play another 5 all red? I mean, I see 1, 2, 3, 4. I said we needed at least half red, and it looks like we have it. So let's do this and get another couple $100. This is not going to be like big money, but I don't think we need to be re-rolling super aggressively for the moment. I hope. So, because this is my first let's discard this. So, because this is my first hand with the Baron, I kind of don't want to push it. And I want to just play this and see what happens. So I am leaving money on the table for sure. We will swap the mime over and copy, but like, I just, not that we have like a ton of room to maneuver. I mean, honestly, like what could we even do other than maybe have one more red seal in hand? But like, I don't know. But let's just try this. And I sure hope the math works out. I sure hope it works out. It seems like it'll work out. We're hoping for like, I don't know, E27 or something like that. Maybe a bit higher. Just straight up copying only the Baron. And then the mime on the like after scoring phase, we'll get a little extra money from those gold cards. These are extraneous actually. Like, okay, that was E37. That was way too many points, obviously. We would have been fine, clearly, to play another hand. And then even holding steel at the end seems not necessary. Like, we seem to have plenty of score. Even, like, holding that blue seal, questionable. Like, how much does some high card matter? I don't know. Like, when the time comes, we'll overwrite it probably. I think we got a pretty early telescope, if I remember, and that's why our high card has been something we've been working on. So we would love to find, what's with all these planets? Did we take one of the planet vouchers? No. We have so many planets. Fool and Death, we are very interested in. We definitely want Blueprint, not necessarily immediately, because we clearly are okay with score for the moment. So, making some more copies of the red seals with DNA for a few more rounds might actually be favorable. You could argue that we want the Chad to make money, but I think making more, like, a number I'm making up in my head is like 50. Don't need that. If anything, we would maybe consider, we don't have to because we have the DNA. If we didn't have the DNA, we chose not to have the DNA, we could bring in death cards and use the magic trick to add some cards that way. That would be fine. We could choose to do that, but it doesn't seem like a thing we need at this point. We don't need this, but there it is right in front of me. I'm thinking maybe $25 rerolls right now. It's very nice that we have both the overstock vouchers. It's huge. That's like extraordinarily, like, that's good luck. Definitely helped offset the bad luck of the... these are very expensive. I've probably gone further than I should. So I think maybe we don't necessarily want to go to 25 every time. but we can go to the next round, which we hopefully have no problem with score. So we had mostly red seals in hand last time, and we had a couple of steel cards, which I don't think we actually needed. And had vastly more points than we needed. Vastly more. If we're really nervous, which maybe I'll get really nervous, we will check the calculator. Which I don't always do while playing, but like, I don't know. I got 4 hours into this run. It would be nice to, excuse me, not have it end because of some very, very silly mistake, which I am certainly prone to make. So let's play a couple hands that look like this. And this time we will try not to waste a hand because it's worth hundreds of dollars, and I'll just try not to be scared about scoring. You know, it's a little worrisome to say like, well, let's just do no steal at all. Like, I don't know. I mean, I think we don't need steal. I think I can like pretty definitively say that. Let's go ahead and play this. We have more naked kings, right? Because that's where we should be using the death. Yeah, like totally naked guys. Let's play this. Talisman we long-term don't want, but it's not as bad as a totally naked king. There's a totally naked king. Let's just get the totally naked king out of hand. Let's save the purple seal for a discard just to make sure our last hand is exactly what we want to be. We play this. I think we can do this. I mean, we have one. I hate this view. That's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I mean, we certainly have enough gold seals to do this. I'm sorry, red seals. Play this hand. It's just, you know, there's some fear. We probably only want another round or two of the DNA. And replacing it with something nicer could be good. I don't feel that the blue seal is really worth it, but it also wasn't really hurting us. Let's discard these. Let's sell this. We could... This is basically our exact last hand, but with one steal instead of 2, right? So we can just see what the difference was when we only have one steal instead of 2. So now this is like, I don't know, 30 something. So let's play this. We got the Baron, we got the Mime. We will get rid of this at some point. And we hit play. Only 35 minutes into this stream. I feel like we just started. I'm going to try not to play till 2 in the morning today, I think. Really threw my day off today. It was a work day. Also got really annoying work news, but... Okay, that was still 36, so like... Steel is not a necessity in this ante, and probably not next ante. I got distracted and forgot to copy the mine, which is a bummer. That was definitely a waste of money. That was a huge waste of money. As soon as I play, I need to copy the mime over. Bummer. Yeah, that was just a tremendous... That was a very costly mistake. Dozens of dollars. Scores of dollars. We don't need these anymore. Maybe we're thinking like $20 rerolls. You don't care about the boss, right? No, it's a little bit annoying, but not that bad. It's annoying for the DNA because we could end up copying something we don't actually want to copy. It's also time for the boss, which means our death card is going to be useless. So kind of lame, but not like run ending or anything. I knew there was going to be nothing in here. We accidentally played a flush house at some point and now have been plagued by it since. This is a concern. I'm going to say, here's the thing. So the thing I want to say to you is that we don't need the DNA because we can just add random cards and use Magic Trick, right? And that's true, and that's fine. Like, we don't have to worry about a perfect deck the way we did with Idol. It may be a bit hard to see those cards because at most we're doing, 5 times 5 is 25, and then there's only 2. The reason I'm going to get rid of the DNA primarily is I think we have some time to add a few random cards and use death on them. But also, it lets us use our first hand to make money instead of only playing 1 card. And so I am willing to do this. We would like to find a replacement for that person. The ideal replacement would be a blueprint. That certainly helps with money making. Like, we don't need it for scoring or anything, but like if our goal right now is just let's try to make money, then that's a way to do that. Which is kind of attractive, actually. Let's add a king, because all kings are fine. We could look in standard packs for kings if we wanted to, but I think we'll be re-rolling enough that it's not gonna matter that much. So again, we need money for the future. I did say this is fine for now because this is definitely money for sure. And it's also temporary, and so like it's all fine. So next round, we're not worried about DNA. We're not worried about anything except just playing this. There's some like, I guess like dark possibility that we have enough naked cards that we could die on the last hand because I just don't think that's actually possible. We actually have very few naked cards at this point, especially after the DNA. A purple seal in there. We got a gold seal in there. That's naked. That's naked. I don't think there's enough naked cards to kill us, I guess, is what I will say. I hope that's true. I'd feel a little better if we like saw some of those other cards in our hands that we play. Like if we saw the purple card and we saw the blue seal, that would be fine with me because that would mean that we had more cards in hand that we felt good about. Let's play this. Our hope is to make thousands and thousands of dollars. And this is helping us with that goal. I mean, from the pure money-making goal, this is as good as a blueprint. It's obviously not as good as a blueprint would be for scoring. Like a blueprint for scoring will be huge, more than you would think it would be, and actually more than adding a brainstorm would be, because the blueprint lets us split the scoring between the Baron and the Mime. There's our purple for the purposes of like how we manage the re-triggers, and so it really is a pretty massive deal. Let's play this, and then next hand we want to copy the Baron. That's one of our steals. That's this guy. So I'm expecting our final hand to be close to all red. Unfortunately, I think I did see some, like, you know, we got some naked cards. We're planning to play this. Ideally, this is naked. Copy this over. So our score just may not be as good this time, but hopefully it's enough. That's a lot of retriggers. Okay. That was an annoying boss, but not like a run-ending boss like the plant would be. That's basically the only boss we can reroll. Any other boss we kind of have to just try to survive. And there's bosses that can kill us for sure. Like, getting this voucher is not what we want. This boss, we were playing spades, so this boss is completely harmless. The scoring feels manageable. We've been out doing this on all of our last hands, right? So that seems okay. We'll take this. We don't really need it. We will take this king because, again, it's a way that, you know, getting to something like 50 cards might be comfortable. Right now, we're 5 times 5 is 25 and 3 times 5 is 15. So we actually can only see 40 cards, but that will really, like that, when we get to the the burglar land, if that's where we're headed, we may really wish we had more cards. $1,600. We're just gonna re-roll for a while. We're gonna exhaust this in the next round, which is fine. I'm not feeling the need to roll super deep. Because we're not desperate for anything. This is money and score, but it's not as much score, and we don't need the money, I think. It's just more cards in hand. Like, Bean is extremely good for Baron and Mind builds. It is a thing that can help you live, but it's not a thing we need now, and I don't think it gets us as much money. Everything we have is already... We're probably going to use death on those. If we didn't use death on those, I guess we could do this. I mean, long term, we definitely want to use death on them. There's our friend, the DNA again. We have not seen hide nor hair of a blueprint this run. I feel like I'm buying things on autopilot that I don't necessarily need, but the Pluto cards are fine. There's this question of whether we will like deem it wise to take an additional ectoplasm. We'd have to sell this guy because we don't have a addition on it. This guy we're going to sell anyway. So we're going to exhaust our seltzer this run, I believe. And we can try to be a little more thoughtful about some things. In terms of what we're trying to copy or not copy or whatever, like these, I think we want to dedicate to the loser cards. We could also try to get these guys. And then maybe at 50, we decide we're okay, maybe. I mean, we could try to run the math on, like, even just with what we have at this moment, what hand size would actually do the thing. Just out of curiosity. What hand size would do the thing? I think I broke the thing. Keeps putting things in the wrong place. So like hand size, cards in hand. If you had a 50 card deck and you used every card, it's E206. That's if we haven't found the blueprint yet. If we have the blueprint and we make one copy of the mime, it is E275. Oh, it's my high card. I forgot to put in my high card level. My high card is 58, by the way. That will help a little. That is, what is that? It seems like it's not as big as it should be. That's only E275 at 50 cards, which is concerning. It doesn't seem big enough. It seems hard to get to 50 cards in hand on a what am I forgetting about this recipe? Steel. That's the thing I'm forgetting. These cards aren't steel. By the time we're ready to score big scores, we won't be concerned with money, and we will be concerned with score. And so we will have steel cards, not golden cards. So with steel cards in hand, we should have a very different. So steel cards without a blueprint. At without a blueprint, it would take close to 60 cards. Yeah, I think about around 60 cards. But with a blueprint, I think here we will see things change dramatically because we can put one on the mime. And then we only need 45 cards. So actually, 45 cards is theoretically the number we would need. So I didn't actually need those other two cards, turns out. So maybe we'll hang some undesirables at some point. In the meantime, let's play for score. I may be forgetting something crucial also with this score calculation. This is just very bare bones. That's 3 brainstorms, 1 blueprint, and a baron. Presumably we would then have the burglar too. So, okay, play this. Again, it's our goal to exhaust the seltzer this run. Obviously, an additional blueprint or brainstorm by then would be a big deal, but I don't know. A bean or a troubadour or something that made it easier to add all those cards. Maybe, I don't know. But it looks like 45 cards that are all steel would be kind of like the mathematically optimal situation. I don't want to leave myself red seal list, but we do have Death and Fool. Let's play these. I think the most money I've ever had in this game is like $13,000. We haven't hit our loser cards, which is a little concerning. Do we have enough remaining red seals to have a good time in the last hand? I think so, especially now that we have an extra discard. One would hope. Let's maybe play this 5. maybe. And then we will copy the Baron and be prepared to copy the mime over. And, okay, what's our strategy here? We don't like this person, obviously. And so we will do this. I think we're not planning to use this. Let's discard these. Because why not? Don't need this. Is it time to say goodbye to this person while we are ready to do so? Or should we discard maybe like 2 cards? Okay, we didn't get anybody else, so we will say goodbye to our blue seal. It's very sad. And we will play our 1 card. Everybody's copying the Baron. We will say goodbye to our Seltzer. We will move the mime as soon as we press play hand. This is our like optimal like hand right now in terms of scoring / money making. It is going to lower our score a little because we have no steel in hand, but I think we're okay. So this will give us insight onto what just like this is our moneymaker hand in terms of the mime. And then we can have conversations about so that was 36, E36, which feels like not a problem for the CNT. Going into this shop, we have a lot of money. It'd be a convenient time. Did I remember to check the vouchers? Yeah. It would be a convenient time to find a cola. But there's our blueprint. And I love that guy. So here's the thing then, like, what does our rolling strategy become? This is a moneymaker and a like vast score increaser. Let's re-roll a little while we think about the opportunities that lay before us. I'm going to take this because I think we said for now we only want 45 cards, right? And in the world that we are considering, 45 cards is the number that we need to do the thing. We have like the ability to do other stuff, but let's just say 45 is our goal. For the moment. It kind of would have been nice, like I'm pleased to see this guy. Love this guy. But it might have been better to find him a little bit later, but that's okay. I mean, we just lost the Seltzer, so like it's a good time. You could imagine perhaps more gooder times. But we're not really looking to like for jokers right now. We're looking for doing a little more deck fixing. There's this idiot. The reason you might take this idiot, maybe you'd sell your ticket and just try to find another guy, but then like your money's gone. So I love this guy, but it's not. I mean, sometimes I love him and sometimes I loathe him. We have a real we're really missing our oh, you freaking cola. It's not the time, dude. There's nobody I want to sell. Like, if you're just getting into a shop and you get a cola early, there's a reasonably good chance you're going to find your golden ticket because it's a common. This does not feel like the time. I was hoping to find a death card, but they don't make those apparently. There's a death. We don't want to hang anybody necessarily. We don't have any interest in these people. I mean, okay, sure, thanks. We could choose to hang some people we don't like, but I think in this moment we will choose to just do this and just say that we got time. Maybe we'll hang somebody in here. Well, I don't know. Maybe that's a perfect hand and we'll just take temperance. And I don't want this because I don't want the fool to give me that awful person. Okay, we've got our buddy the blueprint now. That takes away a number of anxieties. I'm going to play this hand. Great. If we end up with this naked card along with another naked card, I think I will hang those people. And we're just going to say that for the moment, we're just going to say that 45 cards is our dream. I rolled more in that shop than I should have because I get frustrated when I don't see a death after a lot of re-rolling, but it's not critical. It wasn't an emergency. There's not a reason to spend hundreds of dollars looking for a death card. Let's keep this idiot for a moment. We get both hand vouchers? I think so. We only have one discard voucher, but both hand vouchers. So unquestionably, golden ticket is like our money maker. If we didn't have that, say we did need to sell it for some reason, we could pick up something like mail-in rebate. It just would not be this amount of money. What is in our deck? Do we have any naked people even left in our deck? We definitely do. Let's play this. Hopefully the remainder of our deck is valid, but I think we're getting pretty close to a pretty good deck. We're going to copy the Baron. We're going to be ready to copy the Mime. We're going to do this. And I'll explain why, if you care. So we unfortunately did not end up with... Let's just kill these two people. Kill them. Let's discard this. And we end up with a very good hand. We're going to play this, I think, because the Mime is going to make more money. So the reason we want to do this is we want to maximize the number of 1.5s we get. And we do that by the number of times Baron is triggered versus the number of times the card is triggered, right? So there's how often does this Baron activate versus how many times does this card activate? So if we did this, for example, we would say that is 1 card activation. Red Seal is 2 card activations. Mime is 3 card activations. So that's how many times the card reactivates. Stonecrop, how's it going? I'm talking about optimal card layout for scoring, which if you know Balatro, this is probably a familiar thing to you. So if we do this, Red Seals cause a card to re-trigger. The Mime also causes a card to re-trigger. So that is 1, 2, 3 times the card triggers. Blueprints and Brainstorms just copy a Joker. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Barons. So we're saying that is 3 re-triggers and 5 Baron activations, which is 1.5 to the power of 3 times 5, which is 15, right? However, if I do this, it is now 1 activation, 2 activations, 3 activations, 4 activations times 1 activation, 2 activation, 1 Baron, 2, 3, 4 Barons. Now it is 1 to the power of 4 times 4, which is 16. And that difference between 15 and 16 activations may seem trivial, but that's for every single card. And so that is for every card in hand. And so that number gets astonishingly huge, because then it's 4 times 4 times 8 versus 3 times 5 times 8. And so it's 15 times 8. It's an extra 16 activations. It's an extra 8 activations. Is that true? Sorry if I'm doing the math wrong. It's an extra 8 activations, but each of those 8 activations is a 1 to the 8th power X multiply. So this is the configuration that we want. Oh, from Sudoku. I was streaming Sudoku earlier, but now I'm on a kind of astonishingly fortuitous Balatro run that I started last night thinking it would be a short run and got like 4 hours in. So we're something like, I don't know, 5.5 hours into this run, because it has been, I think I've done a reasonable job of playing, but also we kind of lucked out, but also we had some bad luck that we were able to work our way through, and so on and so forth. So we're going to play this because we don't need the score. Our score is going to be ludicrous, I think. Like probably getting close to like high 40s or 50. Maybe. I can't remember exactly, but we'll see. And we feel comfortable that we have 1, 2, 3, 4 by 1, 2, 3, 4. So that is 1 to the power of 4 times 4 times 8, and then whatever this guy does and whatever they're scoring, whatever. So if we just did the math on that roughly, that was 1.5 to the power of whatever I said, 4 times 4 times 8. That is E22. I mean, it's a 3 with 22 zeros behind it. So we're already, so that's just E22, right? But we need E32. But remember, that is a multiplier that is multiplying 60. So now we will multiply that times 60. And that is E24, right? But remember also that we're on the plasma deck. So now we need to add 595. So we take this whole equation plus 595, and that is whatever it is. That's 2E24. And now we need to divide that by 2, which is 1E24. And now we need to square that. And so now that is E48. So we're expecting a score around a 1 with 48 zeros, basically, is the score we're hoping for, which is vastly more than we need. That is not counting some things like these extra doodads. It's not counting this extra 1.5 that will get this. This is that initial score that I told you before we did the divide by 2 and square. We actually should have applied another 1.5. So actually it's more like 4 times 4 times 9, I guess, or this is another 1.5. It's more like an extra. You can think of it as like one more moment of the Baron. So I'm not sure if I did this totally correctly. Did I do this correctly? I did 4 times 4 for 8 cards. I think actually we did have one more activation in there. So it's like all that +1. I don't know how much difference that actually makes. So we had a +1 for that 1.5. It's still E48. It's just slightly larger. It basically doubles it. So let's play this and let's make sure we didn't make mistakes, because that would be embarrassing. We're 3 copies on the Baron. Blueprint is copying Mime. These people all seem happy. We got this little extra boost. So I think we're good. I think we're good. I hope we're good. I'm very nervous, especially because I've already been streaming for hours, that I'm going to make a very obnoxious, silly mistake that is just like, just not even like, oh, my calculations, but more just like I do something dumb. So I think I am going to just make a game back up now and then. Sometimes it just like misclick or whatever, like, oh, I just accidentally click discard or whatever. So let's play this and be ready to copy the Mime over here. And the reason for that is because there's a phase after the scoring phase where the Mime will, it's this like post-play phase where the gold cards are scored. And so we will want all copies on the Mime for that phase. So again, we're expecting something like E47, 48, something like that. So 49, so pretty close. That may come down to, we got, there's an extra 50 chips here, and there's an extra 50 chips here. Like I'm sure we could come up with exactly where this number comes from. I mean, it may be as simple as adding those 100 extra chips. So the 595 actually had plus 100 more. So if I do that, still isn't quite there. So something is obviously slightly off in my math. I don't know what it is. Oh, well, the playing of the Joker, or sorry, the playing of the King also did have 2 activations. So that is also another 20 chips, I think. So I'm still a little under. I'm sure if we really thought hard about it, we could figure out why. But like my calculations are coming out to E48. We landed with E49 here. There's a reason for that I just don't know. Why is it? What did I forget? Maybe I have like some slight misordering. I don't know. I don't actually know why. Plus another 1. Oh, that's why. It's this, and this is times 1.5. That's a little closer. Okay, honestly, I don't know. And I don't know that it's worth, maybe it'll come to me why I'm slightly off. I mean, I'm off by like an order of magnitude, but at the numbers we're dealing with, that's not a very big number. So I think our boss we don't care about at all. We know that we're scoring a very big number, so we're not too worried about score for the moment. You're probably right. I'm probably just like, I'm probably either I have a slight order of operations thing, or I'm just like forgetting some bit of scoring. Oh, each king is also contributing 10 chips. So that is another 80 chips. So it's stuff like that. It's probably that kind of thing that I'm just kind of forgetting. Oh, and their gold seal. So it's actually another 160 chips, right? So, we're edging more closely, but still not quite there. So I don't know. But I think it's just oversights. We'll chalk it up to minor oversights. I'm not very worried about it. Yes, very close to a rounding error. At least not a concern for us at this moment. So we have an amount of money that is somewhat comfortable. The things on our horizon, perhaps the most important thing, if this run is going to go anywhere, is skipping and getting the vouchers that we need. If we don't do that, this run has no, I mean, we're just going to brick wall at a certain point, and that's okay. But it would be a little disappointing to be this many hours in and just hit a brick wall. But let's re-roll for a while, not too deeply, really just maybe looking for, okay, so this is actually a real consideration right at this moment. As I said, the thing that will guarantee the longevity of this run is more vouchers. Unfortunately, we have a pretty good coverage of vouchers. There are some terrible vouchers that will actually like kind of harm us. One in particular, and another one that kind of is the debuff. But we need a lot of vouchers, and we only get one per ante. So we're hoping to use these skip tags to save our lives, basically. We also need money. And so like a truly expert player, which I'm not, would maybe make the call to be like, actually, we should just sell the blueprint right now, whatever, because money's more important. I think actually the expert statement would be that golden ticket is a common and it comes up. If you roll, we have overstock. We have both overstock vouchers. We see 4 jokers every reroll. So I'm going to play this aggressively, and I'm going to sell our income, which is painful to do. We will find something to make some money, but we want to be thoughtful about spreading rerolls over multiple shops if we can. So we could take a rebate, could be something that we want. We could take, I mean, there's a lot of money-making jokers. Many of them do not make that much money. Magic Trick is hurting my feelings right now. We could do stuff like this and just see what we get. Not interested. It's going to be disappointing to play around for no money. That's actually funny. This is funny. Because it's negative, we can take it. It is not very much money, but it's a little bit of money. And so maybe we can at least make a little bit of money instead of none money. That, to be clear, this cola costs us hundreds and hundreds of dollars. So that is but it's also the only way we can have even a chance at like a truly long run. You could argue that this is an opportune time to be like, well, we could make more copies of our cards. I don't actually think we need to. And we're so far away from needing to do the math. It's not until after Ante 24 that we would even like be like, okay, what's the math here? So I don't think we need more cards. I may be wrong on the numbers. Like I may be grossly miscalculating. Okay, we have not seen a golden ticket yet, which is a bummer. But re-rolling more than the golden ticket makes, if we think we can get it in the next round, is like kind of doesn't make that much sense. We can make a tiny bit of money here, like a joke amount of money, and then we can continue re-rolling when the re-rolls are not quite so expensive. And so I think that's probably the thing to do. It is certainly disappointing. The thing that could have made me maybe feel a little better about it would be to find I don't know, maybe a showman. I think the golden ticket we want. It's a pretty shocking we didn't find a golden ticket or a rebate in that many rerolls, but what are you gonna do? So let's go to the next round. Annoyingly, this is our money-making strategy, which is we can make that's $4, $8, $12, $16, $20 a hand times 4 of our hands. So it is such a small amount of money, but oh well. We're looking for fully naked cards to maybe we'll at least try to do a little deck fixing, what little we have left. So let's just play these and make a tiny bit of money, I guess. This is very sad. Look at all my riches. The sad thing is we'll make a little money from the last hand too. That is true. I'm going to discard all of these because we want to find a bad card. This is a bad card. I don't want this at all. Just get out of here. I mean, we'd like to find a fully naked card if we can. We didn't. There's one. Okay, so this is tedious, and I apologize, but we just want to make, like, back a little bit of money. And we will then try to find our golden ticket again. Best case scenario, in the next shop, we hit a cola and then hit a golden ticket, or multiple colas and then hit a golden ticket. That's fairly unlikely because a cola is a rare and a golden ticket is a common. So we're just, we're probably going to see the one and not the other. Let's play this. We're expecting something again around E49. Our copying appears to be correct. Appears to be correct. I think. Hope so. Move the mime back here and we'll make a little money from the mime as well. So maybe we come out of this round with a few $100. Or like $100. Like just not much money. I still don't know exactly what my math problem was, but oh, is it where I placed my, no, I don't know. Okay, so we got a couple $100. We actually did get a cola and we did get an Omen Globe. So interesting. How bad is the boss? One hand type is really a bummer. It's actually like a huge bummer because we want to play a bunch of hands to make money with our golden ticket, which we don't have, but we don't have retcon, so we can't deal with this. We just have to do it. And the biggest danger is that I will forget and play the wrong hand type. So we probably just go in there and like win on the first hand just to not make a mistake. E37 is not a problem with our current scoring. We did not get a voucher skip, which is a bummer. We did get this guy, which I will take and sell. We did get this guy, which I will take for a moment. And we got this, which this is going to do something interesting for us, not in this round, but it will give us the possibility of getting another ectoplasm. There is a tag for getting negatives. And so considerations for the negative tag. We don't have it here. The voucher that we need, like if we, the way that this run, the like exact one way that this run could like go really far and maybe hit Nananth is if we get the voucher that lets us endlessly reroll the bosses, because there's one particular boss that you can kind of game to always survive with our particular build. Because the way our build works is our scoring is dependent on how many cards we hold in hand. And there is a particular boss called the Serpent. And the Serpent is after any card that you play. Even if you play one card, you draw 3 cards. So you can kind of expand your deck, expand your hand to like an expanded size and score way more points. So in this particular case, that boss ends up being a buff, but we have to have the reroll voucher. Now, the negative tag has some potential advantages. Generally, it will just give you garbage. It's going to just probably give you garbage. There are some common jokers, like the money-making jokers, that you could end up with as negative, which is good because then you can continue to make money with all of your other jokers focused on scoring. There's a small chance you get like a meaningful joker that like also increases hand size or something like that. But like there's a lot of jokers and very few of them would be really actually meaningful for us. There's a like very high level strategy that is like, well, you know, if you get those negatives, even if they're useless, that means that particular negative won't appear in the shop again. And so you can, by holding it in your hand, eliminate it from appearing in the shop, which can be advantageous if you're looking for certain jokers. You can also occasionally sell negatives. There's one particular boss where you have to sell a joker to remove a debuff. So selling a negative there can be useful. And then finally, if you have a showman and you get negatives, there is a chance you will get a negative version of one of our really good cards, like the cards we get. That chance is very, very small. So I guess I will say, if we got this voucher naturally and didn't actually need to do the voucher skip, we might do a negative skip just because there's a small enough chance that one of those other things is maybe helpful. I think there are certain kinds of runs where it's like, oh, you actually, it is a requirement that you at least land on one good negative, but this run is not going to go that far. I mean, yeah, I don't think so. I don't think this run is going that far unless we had like somehow extraordinary luck. It had a showman to let us get multiple negative versions of Blueprint and Brainstorm. Now, speaking of multiple versions of Blueprint and Brainstorm, we got one Brainstorm naturally. I think we got one from a showman, and I think we got one from an invisible joker. And I think we got one, and then we got an ectoplasm here to give us a negative slot. We could get an additional negative slot because with the Omen Globe out of a normal Arcana pack. If that happens, we will really have to think hard about whether or not we choose to take it, because it would lower our hand size permanently by 2. The first ectoplasm you take, which we've already taken, the first ectoplasm you take gives you an additional joker slot and lowers your hand size by 1. Subsequent ones have an additional debuff every time. And so if we took another ectoplasm, that is ultimately -3 from our hand size. And as I just explained, our entire ability to score is based on our hand size. So it's a real trade-off where you can say like, well, yeah, our hand size went down, but now we got another Blueprint or Brainstorm to copy and score more. So like there's room for consideration, I guess, but it is, is it worth taking this for the moment? We don't need this. We'll take this and we'll open this just to see if this fires. It does, and we get a useless card. We do not want any of these people. So we just need to reroll for a minute. I should have actually used that judgment. Actually, I should have sold this and used the judgment. We will take a fool, but not use it. We will take this. We will take this. Not super useful, but by holding these up here, they won't appear down here. Not meaningful cards. The discard is like, okay, if we did have a, imagine this was a negative rebate, which actually would be useful. We can't even play a flush house. This is pretty useless. This would help us with that. Or if we had a bunch of purple seals or whatever, let's sell this. Let's use this. It's possible it will be useful. It's not. Not useful at this moment, unfortunately. This... Ooh. So, the thing about this guy is that this guy could give us another one of our favorite cards. The problem is we would be kind of done making money. Kind of. If we got a blueprint from this and we could put more, or a brainstorm, we'd have reasonable odds of hitting a blueprint or brainstorm. We would have reasonable odds of getting another blueprint or brainstorm. And then that's additional copies of the mime during that last hand to make a bit more money there. This is definitely not as good as a golden ticket. It's not even close. There's a point where we have to move away from gold cards, at which point both the golden ticket and the mime become kind of useless. So the other thing about this is we have to hold on to it for several, at least these 2 rounds. And only here will we get to pop it. Like, we will play this, we won't pop it here. We'll play this, we'll pop it here. We would have pretty good odds. We'd have, what is that? We'd have 4 out of, we would sell this obviously. And then we'd have 4 out of 6, 2/3, like a 2 out of 3 chance to hit what we want. No, you're not asking too many questions at all. Yeah, the way the to-do list works is every round it offers a different hand. It can be really useful very early in a run because, like, early in a run when you have no money, $4 is great. And you can just, like, play several of the same hand and get that money. We are in a place where we only play high cards, really. And we actually are not even capable of playing a flush house because our entire deck has been fixed to be only kings of spades. And so it's just not, at this point, very useful. I'm going to roll a little... Oh, dang it. Invisible Joker is a rare. It means for 2 rounds, we don't see... Here's the other thing. Here's the other meaningful reason that we might want to just take this Invisible Joker. And this might be a mistake. Is, as I said before, we may find an ectoplasm that could give us an additional Joker slot. If we use this and it hits one of these, 5 of our Jokers then would be Blueprint or Brainstorm out of 7. And then we would have a that much better chance of the ectoplasm hitting the Jokers we want. In fact, we would have... Ectoplasm can't hit something that already has an addition or is already negative, so it could only hit the Baron, which would be okay, or the Blueprint, or the Brainstorm, or potentially our copy of one of these. There are a total of 32 vouchers. The worst case scenario is that you... The one voucher we need, the upgraded version of this, is your 32nd voucher. And that actually happened to me on that last long run. I had a bunch of double tags and ended up not using it because I never got a skip tag. It's a chance on whether you're going to skip tag or not. And right now, we have what? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So even with this, we're only at 28. So we may not guarantee the voucher we want. Now, it's not out of 32. If we popped all these at once, we would not have to worry about the discount voucher upgrade or the tarot merchant voucher upgrade. And there's one other one. There's one other voucher that we don't have anything of. I think it's a tarot merchant. I meant planet merchant. What other voucher have we just not seen at all? We have not seen... Why am I blanking on this? Oh, these guys, seed money. We wouldn't see the upgrade of that. So there's 3. So it'd actually be out of 29. So we would have, a 28 out of 29 chance of getting it if we hit the thing. So is it worth taking this then? Maybe not. It probably, because that is so actually critically important to accomplish the thing we're trying to accomplish, you could argue that yes, you do need to take that, because even though right now we would have what I think is a 28 out of 29 chance of getting what we needed if we hit that, it's possible that that chance doesn't actually improve ante to ante. But if I'm doing that math right, we would be immune from the upgraded version of, we'd be immune from the upgraded version of, we have this voucher. So there's 31 vouchers. We'd be immune from the upgraded version of the Planet Merchant and the upgraded version of the discount voucher. So that takes us to 29. So we would have we'd basically have an 8 out of 9 chance. And if we took this, we'd have a 9 out of 9 chance, but then we may just not see this Invisible Joker again. The other consideration, however, is do we want this Invisible Joker? Because maybe we actually just want to find the golden ticket and make more money. Because then we can re-roll for something like the Showman or whatever. Because it's also very possible that the Invisible Joker hits Baron or Mine, which we wouldn't really want. So whatever. We will take one more of these, because I think that's the last. I think that's, at least right now, this would guarantee us, if we get a skip tag, I think we would be guaranteed to see it. We can monitor to that, I guess, if we run into something else. So we are back to having no money. Would it be funny to, we can't do anything against the boss for the Matador, right? One hand type, no. Don't even tempt it. I have to remember that. Don't let me forget the boss. This is almost not even worth taking, but I'm going to take it because it pulls a common out of the pool. And so we have a slightly higher chance of hitting what's its face. Bean is worth taking because it's 5 more hand size, which will give us 5 more triggers of the mime. It would be nice to hit a death. I'm going to reroll a little more, but Bean is okay. Burglar is what we will eventually want to cheat the Serpent. So as I described on the Serpent, you can build your hand. Every hand you play makes your your cards in hand grow bigger and bigger and bigger, because you play 1, you draw 3, play 1, draw 3. If you get the Burglar, you get +3 hands times 1, 2, 3, 4, and maybe 5 if we find another. But say it's just that. That means you get +12 hands, and that's 17 hands. And 17 hands is, it's 1 down, 3 up. So you net 2 over those 17 hands. And it really is over the 16 hands. So that's 32 cards. That's 32 cards in hand, I think, so that you can play 1. And what did we say we need with the calculator? We said we need 45. So we're short anyway, unless we get another blueprint or brainstorm. So I think we are required to find one. That doesn't actually sound true to me. I think I'm missing something, because I think there's a way that we can score with fewer. Because what did I just say? 1632 plus the plus discards, right? So each discard, that'd be another 6. So that's 36. And we would start with whatever, 9 cards in hand. Unless we get the ectoplasm. So that takes us to 45. So that's a note to say that extra plasma actually could kill us. But if we have it, then we don't need as many cards to score. We only need 36, so maybe it nets out to be like roughly the same. I don't know. Anyway, point is we don't take this yet, I guess. Do we keep rolling when we don't really have a moneymaker? Probably not. It's disappointing because I really would have liked to find some tarot cards to take with us. But like right now we're comfortable, right? We're scoring in the high 40s. So I think for the moment, we don't have to be afraid. I don't know that I feel like it's worth messing with this ever. We can't this round anyway, so let's go next round. And let's pick this. We're going to score a kind of ludicrous amount because of our increased hand size. I don't know that there's really much advantage to us like trying to crawl through our deck. We don't have anything to do any deck fixing. We could get 1 tarot card, which is not likely to be very good. So I think we just play this and get the mime money and get out of here. So we have $3,000 basically, so we can see how much the mime will give us. Right? Copy the mime. Copying the mime. Copy, copy. And what else? Everything else is on Baron. I think we go. And then we do this. And we see how much we get from the mime. I don't know off the top of my head. We will just have a lot of... Each gold card is worth $3. And that's 1 trigger, 2 triggers, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's $21 per card. And we have 13 in hand. So like 120, 140, 160. We're expecting maybe like $160. It will take a while to score. This is a place where even if, like in terms of the money-making commons, we could have done worse than this, maybe. But because we at least had 1 round where we made like $100 from it, or $80 or whatever it was. 80. So we made like $200. Why was my math so off? I guess because I was rounding too much. Oh, we also had a few other money sources, but okay, cash out. We have an Arcana pack. It would be nice to take something in there that's useful. There's some universe in which there's an ectoplasm in there. We may not live in that universe, but I don't know how long I'm gonna go today. It's already after 10. Okay. I can feel my focus slipping, where it becomes more and more likely every moment I'll make a mistake. So, if we did this and it hit the Baron, that would be kind of cool to me. If it hit the Blueprint or Brainstorm, it'd be a little bit bad, but not disastrous. So it doesn't hit anything, so it doesn't matter. There seems to be a dearth of death. It's actually shocking to me that we have not yet seen a rebate or a golden ticket. One of the big downsides of our buddy, the bean, is the bean decreases every round, so every round will make a little bit less money. That's not really that much money. It's some money, but I don't know that it's worth the trouble. Another one of those guys. No deaths, huh? I think I'm just rolling back down to 3,000. That is the third business card that we've seen, and no golden tickets or rebates. There's a rebate. So we probably take the rebate. I forgot to even pay attention to what our score was with the bean. Probably should have paid attention to that, huh? I think we're fine next ante. I think next ante is like 45. We will probably at that point need to start thinking seriously about switching to steel. It's Grimbone, the bandmaster. We didn't get anything to put in here. It'd be cool if there was a death in here. There's not. Let's take the temperance. Let's take the temperance again. Let's go to the next round. Let's select this blind. Kind of wish I'd kept that invisible joker. And we will just discard kings. This is going to be some money. We're at 3,234, so like $3,200. So we're like 5 times 5 times 5. We got to remember that our score is going to be lower than last time because of the lack of bean. But we still feel good about our score until we find steel. Kind of concerning that we're discarding all of our friends, but we can dig through the deck by playing hands if we really need to. So we're ready to play. So we made a couple bucks. 3,600. Like we made about $400. And we will now just play, I guess. And our score will be lower, but we're not going to be scared about it. Because it still should be sufficient. Should be 10 orders of magnitude larger. Okay, what are we doing? What are our goals for this shop? A golden ticket would be a nice goal. If we got a cola before that, we don't really need it, I don't think. I don't think there's a world where we would need that cola. There's some consideration that's like, maybe we just take all the cola. Okay, we have to remember to only play one card next time. No matter what happens. Don't forget. I'd still kind of like to find a death card. We can at least make a little bit of money. I mean, not even a little bit. We can make a substantial amount of money. I mean, I almost want to take this guy in so I don't screw up, but then we wouldn't be able to make money anyway. So like, we only need to play one hand. So actually the rebate is the optimal moneymaker for this round, actually. So I kind of don't even want the golden ticket. Who thought I would ever say that? Okay. I should just go, right? I should just go and we'll do this and then we'll play. And we will see if the next boss kills us. We will see if we get vouchers. We will see a lot of things. Do not play a hand that is not high card. If you hit play hand right now, I would be dead. In fact, That just is so the kind of thing that I would do. I'm going to copy the save file again and just make sure I don't accidentally hit that button. I was scared just hovering my mouse over it because I could have had like a finger spasm. Okay, discard. There's some consideration for when we start making copies right now that we actually make copies of steel cards instead of more gold. I will consider that. I hate to do it on the last hand. I kind of don't want to use these right now, which is really kind of bad practice. Let's use at least one. We may be closer to a fixed deck than I thought. I mean, we still have the purple seal. I thought we still had some naked people. You have the gold. Can we just get rid of the gold? Maybe we don't have anybody who's naked anymore. There's a purple. There's a gold. Okay, so we're actually pretty close. That is true. E48 with no steel. So we don't need steel at the moment at all. This is more just like future proofing so that, you know, by a certain ante, we will want our entire deck to be steel, basically, and that is hard to do very, like, really rapidly. And if you only have 1 or 2 steel cards in the deck, it can be hard to even find them. So I just want to be sure that we have some steel in there, not because we need it now, but so that when we do need it, we're already like in the process. It may be premature, but just to be safe. So we'll play our high card here. There's really no advantage to playing high card additionally. Can't play flush. I think our copying is optimal. We're playing our one hand type play. Okay. I have ended runs by just accidentally not paying attention. Very frequently you play hands to throw things away. Oops, copy that. And I have died because I was just throwing things away and like accidentally played a pair or something. Which is a demoralizing way to die. So E49, the steel gives us a little bit of a little kick in the pants. Okay. Goals for this shop. First, we want to check here. Our scoring is still comfortable here, but starting to maybe be like, oh boy, what are we going to do? Like the ante after this, our scoring is probably like, it's probably like getting into the 50s. And so we can make it through this ante. I think the next ante, I can't exactly remember, but I think it might be like 51 or something like that. And so that is getting to a point where I'm scared. And we could imagine like a deck that is maybe, what is it? Let's just try it out. What's a deck that's like half gold, half steel? What does that look like? So, half gold, half steel only gets us to E50. So it actually doesn't look like enough. Full steel. And mind you, I think like I'm off somewhere a little in my calculations, but full steel gets us to 55. So, it's going to maybe have to be kind of a fast pivot, but we may need at least enough steel. Maybe it doesn't have to be full steel. You know, full steel is E55. We could maybe still have a couple gold cards in there. Not necessarily because we want to, but maybe we can't draw it. It might be like E52. So like it is a little concerning. We definitely want some steel. Like I would say, like if we had 8 steel, that would maybe be kind of a minimum. Right now we have what, 3? We have 3 steel. So it feels manageable to get from 3 to 8 in one ante. The bad news, the double bad news, in fact, is 1, we did not get a meaningful skip tag, but even worse, we got the worst voucher in the universe. I hate this. I hate Planet Merchant so much. And the real bummer is if we don't take it, this ruins the shop. It will ruin our shop. It will like pollute the shop with planets while we are actually trying to find things we need. But if we don't take it, we very easily could just see it the next ante and see it the next ante and see it the next ante. Like not removing vouchers. Say this doesn't happen, like we don't get our skip tag. The only way we will get the retcon voucher is by landing on in the shop. And so there's just a question of like, well, like how bad is it? Do we take this even though it sucks? Like I pretty generally, not even generally, like I just will straight up say Planet Merchant is a debuff. It is a voucher that causes harm. And the cases in which you would want to take it are so slim. There's like a build where if you've got a constellation and an astronomer, I guess, but man, otherwise it's planets are pretty meaningless to us at this point. It does nothing but clog up the shop. So that's really disappointing. If we got this and we saw the upgraded one, I would be truly bummed because we will just never see Jokers again, basically. So we want to be on the lookout for chariots. Justice is not very meaningful with what we're working with. We'll try this. Oop. I feel myself moving more and more slowly. So this is 2 more steel. Still would prefer to find a golden ticket, probably. I can feel myself getting slower. It just feels very easy to like roll past something. I'd like to find it. There's another. We've seen 2 burglars without seeing a golden ticket. Sad. I've not got a golden ticket. I've also seen so many emperors without seeing a chariot. We've seen so many business cards. Am I wrong about golden ticket being a common? It's a common, right? Doesn't feel very common right now. Common. Okay. It's just uncommonly common. I don't want to roll too much deeper. I'd like to see a chariot. I love the burn joker. None of our wheels are hitting either. I don't think we need to take it. There's our chariot. Okay, let's go to the next round. Let's play this round. I might be wrong, but it might be even higher than I think it is, and we might just be dead. Let's remind ourselves of what Ante 21 looks like. 50. Okay. Low 50s. So manageable, I think. With, it looks like 50. Yeah, it doesn't go over 51 in that ante. Then it gets real bad real fast, and we may just be toast. So, 5 steel probably does it. Probably does it. I think I'm going to also call it after this ante if we survive. I mean, obviously, if we die, we die. But even if we survive, I think. So let's discard for some money. This is not that big of a deal because, like, cutting our score in half is kind of meaningless when we're scoring what we're scoring. So I don't think this is a problem at this juncture. Like, cutting from basically cutting our high card back to like where this is 32 and this is 300 or whatever. I don't know that that makes that big of a difference. I guess if we looked at our high card, I don't know, and set it to like level 32, whatever that looks like. I just don't think is a meaningful. I just don't think it's that meaningful. Although the number's not changing, which is weird. Why isn't the number changing? Oops, because I typed the wrong thing. Sorry. Yeah, like even at level 0 high card, which by the way, that was my problem. I had level 1 high card. I accidentally typed the number of times played high card rather than the score. So like between a level 1 high card that's E51 and a level 50 high card is E54. So you get some ease there. So we can expect some ease. That explains why my score was coming under, because I just mistyped the, at least in the calculator. I don't know when I was just doing the math while it failed, but okay. So we feel somewhat secure in ourselves. Let's just go ahead and do this, I think. And this is our last special person, but we don't have a major need for tarot cards. We now have 1, 2, that's 4 steel. I'm just trying to decide, like, we can obviously use this to make a steel, and that will be 5 steel, which is actually adequate for us next time. But like, do I go beyond that is what I'm sort of debating. Let's just do, while we think about it, I guess I'm deciding, is it meaningful to do something with this? And I think the answer is no. I mean, I don't think we'll get anything out of it. So let's just death this. And then let's just chariot this and just say we have 5, 6, 7 steel. I think we said our goal was 8. So, but we need none of them right now. Right? Spent too much time on stream today. It's my it's a Friday night treat because I got such annoying work news today. Okay, so just a couple more of those. One of the like semi-unfortunate things is we just don't have much control over where we land. Like, we could easily land with 2 steel cards, which is like, oh well. Let's place our friends. Okay, that looks pretty optimal. You copy you, you copy you. Do this, do this. I got $20 here from my aunt, which was a sweet thing for her to send with a Christmas card. And I always try to go out of my way to like buy a nice present for myself with whatever she gives me, so I can be like, look, I got this. I got this with what you sent me. And so I've been trying to decide what that is. It's usually tools, but it could be a kitchen implement that I use all the time. Oh no, I'm sorry, you got annoying work news? Do you want to share what it is? You definitely don't have to. But if you want a, I don't know what the term I was going to use. The vision I had is like, you know, a bartender and you're at the bar. So I think I already know the answer to this, but we don't have to make any decisions right now. Let's buy this. But is reserved parking better for us right now than this? It's probably not. Not that. Sorry, this. Because that is $5 times 5 kings times 1, 2, 3, 4 retriggers. 5 times 5 times 4 is $100. That's $300, right? If we did this, it's a 1 in 2 chance per hand per card. So, but every hand we have 8 cards in hand times 5. Let's even say just 4 times 4. That's 32. Divided by 2, because it's 1 in 2 chance, so it's 16. But that becomes 32, 64, 128, 256, 512. So you could maybe argue that free parking is actually better than this, except that's not exactly true. Unfortunately, the way the retriggers work, the mime will only retrigger if the dice roll is successful the first time. So the mime is actually kind of bad, but it still might be more money. Did I do that math right? Every hand is $8 divided by 2. Every hand is $4, let's say. Over 4 hands is 16. Even if we ignore the mine, it's 16, 32, 64, 128, 256, and then maybe sometimes we get this. So it is, in theory, more money than this because this is just 300, right? But it's also more annoying. I don't know. I mean, were you feeling personally invested in the project we're working on? I sometimes enjoy, I do contract work and bounce through a ton of jobs. So like split brain is kind of how I work anyway. I tend to do better with that anyway, just bouncing between things. But I can see if you were like really invested in like the thing you were working on, it's a bummer if it got shelved. But obviously the good news is you were not shelved along with the product. So that's a silver lining, right? You were not laid off when the product became not a priority. So we don't want to buy this yet. I think we do have to buy this, which sucks. So did I talk myself into... The problem is this takes a long time to score. It's the difference between somewhere between $256 and $512 or whatever I said, if I did that math right, and $300 guaranteed dollars, which is like probably less money, but it takes longer to score and is annoying. So, but you also do get money on the final hand. You just don't get very much, because on the final hand, you're only getting the retrigger from the mime. Are we that strapped for cash? Okay, that's very fair. If it's like the old job was like, your preference because it fit into your life better, then I can definitely see how a single easy project, even being replaced with two easy projects sums up to a complicated project probably. So yeah, I can see that. That sucks. Okay, I don't want to think about this. We want the other guy anyway, right? Well, okay, consideration actually though. Consideration. I've been saying we want the golden ticket, but every steel card we make makes the golden ticket less viable, right? So we may not be we maybe don't want to return to the golden ticket life. It would have been really amazing if this happened to be a negative money-making joker that was any good. I think we're going to stick with this for the moment. I don't know. If I regret it, we'll see it again. Maybe we'll never see it again. Death card. So I guess we will continue like slowly sort of without great urgency shifting towards steel. A couple of steel per round that our deck will shift very quickly. What if we had a wheel hit? What am I looking for that I would enjoy? I mean, rebate is okay right now. Looking for an invisible, right? So a negative invisible is actually a very funny thing. So the chances of any given joker being invisible is a 0.3% chance. So there's a 1 in 300 chance that any given joker that you see when re-rolling will be invisible. Sorry, negative. You would think we'd see negatives more often than we do. I think we had some early negatives that I had to sell, but anyway, we haven't seen a lot of them. We also, I think, have the Tarot Merchant, which means we're seeing fewer jokers. When we take this, we will see even fewer jokers. Invisible joker is already rare. So getting an invisible joker is already rare. Getting a negative invisible joker, while possible, is extremely rare. But then the negative invisible joker has a really weird property where it will make a copy of something without giving you an additional joker slot. So you end up with something like 9 out of 8 jokers, which is generally fine, but it means you can never take another negative, which is probably not that big of a deal. In like 500 plus hours, probably close to 600 hours of Balatro, I think I've seen a negative invisible joker one time. They just don't happen a lot. But the longer you run and the more you have money, the more negatives you will see. Let's spend a little more. The thing about taking Showman or Invisible Joker, negative Invisibles, I mean, a negative anything, like a negative good joker is great. It just is. But the thing about taking non-negative good jokers at this point means we do have to sacrifice something. And the most sacrificable thing is our money making. There may be a point where we're just like, I sure would like to have a blueprint, another blueprint or another brainstorm, which may be the only way we can survive the ante after this. I don't know. What did we say in terms of, like, we're only going to survive, that we'll survive the next ante with steel. But then I think even a full hand of steel is like, really cuts it close, like where I actually don't know that we can do it. It would be right on the edge of even winning the small blind, I think, of the next ante with full steel. Again, you know, there's a few minor things we haven't accounted for, like we could, like, you know, extra chips here and there, a few more levels. Our high card is now level 64. So if we went to our hands and made our high card now level 64, that helps a tiny bit, but it will be very close. I mean, it might be so close that we are normally, once you get to a certain point, the scores are so large that playing two hands is meaningless. That would get us close enough that it's like actually playing a few hands, even additively, we might sum up to one of those huge numbers. It's sort of like if it's like I need 4 E59, but I'm only scoring 1 E59. I can do that because I can play that 4 times because I'm in the same order of magnitude. If you're not in the same order of magnitude, you're not getting there. But in this case, we would be in the same order of magnitude. So we're kind of just cruising with the hope of finding vouchers, which we only got the worst voucher that I hate, or skip tags, and otherwise just trying to make some money, I think. And now our like midterm project is, I almost clicked that. That would have been horrible. Our midterm project is our conversion. I would love to have one more blueprint or brainstorm. If we got the showman and we felt like we had an amount of money that was a manageable amount of money, then like maybe. But that means that is a point where it's like, well, we just don't make money anymore. And the problem is we couldn't just say that like, okay, we don't make money anymore, but now we got all blueprints and brainstorms and we're all locked in and good, because we have to have the burglar to do the big score. But we just might not be able to find the burglar or afford the burglar, or even if we have the burglar, it may not be enough. And so I don't know. It's probably not going to be a decision for today. Because my ambition, I think, is to get into this ante and then call the stream. But Stonecrop, I appreciate you hanging out for a while. Okay, let's make... This is kind of inopportune timing. What I should have done was do this earlier and then discard them earlier and make a little more money. So I should have been more attentive about that. This will cost me a couple bucks. We will do this. We will do this. We will play this. We will have a little bit of steel, so we're expecting a higher score. Maybe we actually hit E50 this time with 2 steel. I don't know. I don't know. But let's try. The nice thing about rebate versus golden ticket is there's less, it's a lower likelihood that I misplay and ruin everything because I have extra hands. DNA is another way that we could make short-term score, but again, we would not be making money. A negative moneymaker is like one of the most powerful things in the game. Okay, we have to take this idiot before we leave this shop. I hate it so much. Okay. So we're just looking for a few more. At this point, I don't know that I would take golden ticket. Maybe I would. It's actually stunning that we haven't seen it. We get this negative, which is useless, but a little cutie pie. Oh my gosh, look at that. So we get an invisible joker. I kind of want to do it just for fun. What are the implications of the choices I'm about to make? Because it's possible there's an ectoplasm in here. And if that were true, I guess we go in here. It's a very low chance, but it's possible. Okay, there's no ectoplasm. We're not forced to make that particular decision. Let's take the $20. So, if we take this guy, we're going at least 2 rounds without really making much money. We still can make some money from the mime at the end, but like definitely not, you know, the hundreds of dollars around. And then the more steel we make, the less likely we are to do that. Arguments for taking this now are we're about to pollute our shop where it's harder to find any jokers. So even if we did find a showman later, because we got an ectoplasm later or something, and we were just re-rolling, trying to find more blueprints and brainstorms, that becomes hard to do. If we did it and we got a copy of Baron or Mime, that would give us some short-term scoring, but definitely not with the flexibility that we would have here. We'd still hope to maybe find a negative. So we can take it. If we take it, we're not making money for 2 rounds is kind of the... It will be rarer. And I'm probably exaggerating it a little bit, but it's just this one makes things worse. The following upgraded version of this makes things kind of abysmal. And especially because we will have had the Tarot Merchant and we will have Magic Trick, which is adding cards, playing cards to the shop, which weren't there at all. This adds more tarot cards, twice the frequency, and this adds more planet cards. So it just becomes rarer to see jokers. A crazy thing on that last huge run I had was during a certain stretch of the run, I got a negative joker every shop, because as we said, you should see a negative joker roughly once every 300 jokers. And I had all 4 slots in the shop where I could see those. And so it doesn't take that many re-rolls necessarily. It's still some re-rolls to see 300 jokers. But once I had all the other upgrades, I'm not sure. I think I maybe saw one more negative for the entire second half of the game, just because the shop becomes kind of polluted. So I'm gonna take this only because it seems fun. It's probably not smart, but we're kind of not doing much right now anyway. I mean, the thing we were kind of doing was trying to make money, but let's do it. Let's not re-roll anymore because we're not making more money. We have to redeem this, which is very sad. Let's also buy this. Wait, why don't I? Wait, what? Oh, that's very funny. We accidentally had our flush 5 go higher than our high card when we were playing everything for the golden ticket. Oops. Not that big of a deal, but okay. I hate you. I hate you, Planet Merchant. Worst voucher in the game. Okay, let's just go. Are we comfortable with the amount of steel that we have? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We said we wanted to end this ante with 8-ish, so maybe we're okay. I think we're okay. Are we okay? If you think about this as, this is 5 times 5 is 25. This is 3 times 5 is 15. That's 40. And then we also have 8 in the deck. So we have the ability to see every single card if we need to, I think. I think we're able to see every card to get down to the steel hand that we need. It just might be tedious to do so. So let's just go. So we're going here. We don't really have any goals because we can't play a flush house and we can't make any money. So I don't think we have any goals other than just playing. And this hand is fine with me because I don't think we need any steel here. We may need some steel coming up. We got our buddy Havesies here, giving us a little bit of score. Okay, so I think we just play this and copy this. So we have 49.30. Let's see what money we get while we're still able to get a little bit from gold cards. Selling the rebate for the invisible, possibly a monumental blunder, but it's not number one on the list of things that could kill us. What did I do wrong that made that only E47? Why was that only E47? Was it higher when we were just like accidentally having some steel in hand? But I felt like we were always scoring more than E47. I'm very confused about that, actually. Oh, right. Of course, because it had base, chips, and malt. Yeah, but it was also, that was the boss that did the base, chips, and malt halved. So it did lower things a bit. Enough to like drop us an order of magnitude, which is kind of scary, but like it was still fine. In another situation that could have killed us, but we survived there. So what voucher do we get? Not a good voucher. It doesn't help us in any way, but it at least doesn't make the shop worse. So we can just take it now. We made some money there. I forgot what I said. What did we have? Like 49.30? Is that right? So a touch of money. We did not get the voucher skip, which is maybe means this run is over. Maybe means the run is over. I guess it kind of depends on what happens with this invisible. This kills us. This boss definitely kills us. We have the ability to re-roll the boss one time. And if it lands on, if we re-roll this and it lands on the plant, then that also kills us and we're just dead. So we actually, we don't need to take this now. We don't need to do anything right now, I don't think. We just need to end up with some steel in hand. The kind of scary choice is just re-roll. This is just emotional support re-rolling while we think through our options here. Okay, we hit the Baron, which means Ecto would not hit the Baron. So we never take a wheel ever again. Even if I find its siren song so tempting. But that was the last. Look at all these planet cards. The shop is ruined. Planet cards. Get out of my life. Planet cards. Shop's all planet cards. Okay, there's no planet cards here, but it's tarot cards. We're just, the days of seeing Jokers are kind of over. So we know, we think we know that we need some steel at least, but the real tragedy is, so, I mean, part of the question is like, am I comfortable with the amount of steel I have? We actually can only dig with 4 hands because we need to play the 5th, right? So it's really 4 times 5 is 20. It's 35 plus the 9 that we have. So we really only see 44 cards, so it's possible we don't see every single card, but I think we're still okay. I'm tempted to roll a little bit more, mainly because it's fun to roll. And push the button. But that's probably enough. So let's continue. We're still not high card, so we don't need to take that. Let's go to the next round and talk about our options. So this almost unquestionably kills us because it means that we only get 4 kings worth of re-triggers. Nine cards. Yeah, we would only have 4 kings, and so the scoring is just not 4 steel cards does not, it's just not even remotely close. It is so not it. So if we want to continue this run, we have to re-roll this, but we only get 1 re-roll. If it lands on something that debuffs face cards, we are in deep trouble. The hook could easily kill us. The ox would be very sad. We would lose $4,000, which ultimately probably kills us. The house is okay. The wall is fine. The wheel is fine. The arm is annoying but fine. The club is fine. The fish is fine. Psychic is what we're on, and it will kill us. The goad would kill us, but we've already seen the goad, so it doesn't seem likely that we would see it. Water would kill us if we didn't land on steel, but we could play a few hands. Window doesn't matter. Manacle is iffy for sure, but maybe we'd be okay with enough steel. The eye would be fine. The mouth would be fine. The plant would absolutely kill us. The serpent would be actually great. The pillar would not be a big deal. The needle would not be a big deal. Head, no. Tooth, fine. Flint does take us down a peg, but probably okay. And the mark. So there's a handful that would just kill us. So either we re-roll now and we know our fate and we just accept our fate, which if we die and it would be very sad. Or we at least play just 1 ante so we can see what this guy is, and then we re-roll the boss and feel maybe even worse. I'm going to choose to not know my fate yet. I know I said I was going to go to bed, but okay, so another thing I said is we feel pretty confident that we need some steel. And so with just kind of baseline what we're doing here, and we got the level 64 high card, and we got what? Some Golden Girls. And we got some steel bills. 4 steel should do it. 4 steel should do it. Three steel even probably doesn't, but so I have told you, and maybe you believe me, that 4 steel will be adequate. According to the Balatro calculator, 4 steel is adequate, and we still make a little bit of money. And it's actually more than adequate. The truth is, even 3 steel should be adequate, but it's a little bit scary. But maybe we just see what happens here. With 4, so we play this. We're copying stuff. This guy, everything's copied. Play, remove this. We make half the money that we've been making. So, oops, how do we do? 53. So that was definitely overkill. 4 steel is overkill. Yeah, that's almost exactly what we have here. So 3 steel actually should be totally safe for this ante to make a trivial amount of additional money. Okay, here's where our fate is sealed. So, before we do this, we definitely don't want to hit these weird negatives. So we need to sell our weird negatives. So we have a 4 in 6 chance, which somehow sounds better than a 2 out of 3 chance. A 2 out of 3 chance does not sound that good. But let's sell this. That is a very bad, that's a bad hit. That's unfortunate. I mean, it's fine in terms of scoring. It's actually like a little hard to balance, unfortunately, because we end up with the 1, 2, 3, 4, and now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I mean, obviously anything else, basically anything else would have been better. Like kind of the Baron was sort of the worst hit, which is a bummer. Even the Mime would have been better, I think. This just makes the balancing really hard with the steel, because the retriggers are 1, 2 for the card, and it's 1, 2, 3, 4 times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 for the steel card. And I don't think this makes sense. This makes it 1, 2 retrigger, 3, 4, 5, 6 times the steel card. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 24. And this is 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 24. I mean, it's going to be a bigger number for sure. This is definitely a bigger number, but I would have much preferred to hit a Blueprint or Brainstorm, but it may not, because we might just be dead. So we don't reroll looking for anything necessarily. Like our only goal in life now would be to try to survive long enough to get the voucher, I guess, because anything we changed here knocks our score back down, but this is now enough score to survive a little longer. Definitely disappointed with it hitting the Baron. Like this basically takes us to like the score, whatever score we just made. This is now E63. So we definitely survived this ante and the next ante. And so if our whole purpose on Earth is just to survive long enough to try to find the vouchers, then maybe we have done that. Finding an ectoplasm seems unlikely. The money would only be for finding the burglar, which I guess we would sell one of the barons if we found the burglar. So I don't exactly know what's going to happen with this run, honestly. Maybe there's an ectoplasm in here. Wouldn't that be wild? No, there's a dumb card. What if there was an ectoplasm in here? There's not. But what if there was? So, I mean, it's possible we will run into an ectoplasm. It's a thing that could happen. So, steel is no longer a concern, I guess, is one advantage here, because even with no steel. Even with no steel at all, we can hit E59. So we can at least make a little money with the mime for the moment. Like, no sweat. Okay, well, I guess the question would kind of be, what are we rolling for if the only thing we want is vouchers and we don't need colas? Again, emotional support. For these, for my boots, that's why we had to re-roll. We had to re-roll so I could find the negative boots. Okay, I'm just re-rolling a teeny tiny bit, okay? Cut me some slack. We don't need to take the magic trick yet. Okay, we have exactly $5,000. There's a universe. There's a universe. We don't live in that universe, but there's a universe where you like get the showman and try to re-roll for something, but like we don't really have anywhere to put it. So let's just go on ahead. What if this had actually given us something that was useful? I mean, it's 2,000 malt. That doesn't really mean anything. Well, I can tell you exactly what it means. It's 1,000 squared. So it's what, 1,000,000 points? This is worth 1,000,000 points and we're trying to score whatever septillion or wherever we are in the scoring, who knows. Let's select this. Oh, right, I forgot. Also, we might just be dead because of the boss reroll. How could I forget? So let's just play this hand. This should be a ludicrous score. We're expecting around E59, E60, right? Copy the mime. Everybody else copies barons. We'll make a little bit of money, a couple $100. I forgot. We did the calculations. 8 times 2 times 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So there's our E59 as anticipated. Actually, like to the exact number, shockingly. It's pretty weird. I guess like some of these things, like now we're getting to the point that truly some of the variations in score really are like deep rounding errors because they're so irrelevant. Okay. Once again, we will take this. We will look in here for the off chance of an ectoplasm. We don't get an ectoplasm. Let's just go ahead and make a steal while we're here. Let's go ahead and do this. We actually don't need steel anytime soon, but what else are we doing? Are we back to the point that we have a high card as our highest? Just barely, so we can look in here. Get a bonus high card. So, a little bit of emotional support rolling, just to make me feel better. Or it might actually make me feel sad if we see something that I want and can't take. That, I meant to buy that, not use it. Oh well. Pretty wild we haven't seen any of the discount vouchers. So, okay, here's the thing. We need to re-roll, and this just could be the end of the run. This could be the end of a run of like between 6 and 7 hours, I guess. Which is sad. That's sad, right? So, let's do the next round. We absolutely can't beat this boss. We can beat this boss, no problem. So the run is not over. That's wild. How about that? And we know in terms of scoring, we're fine. So we just play this hand, I guess. We could choose to copy one steel card, I guess, while we're here. And then maybe we just discard those. Get out of here. Okay. Play this with the proper copying. Move the mime. And I think I'm done for today. Now that it's almost midnight again. At least it's not whatever it was yesterday, 2 in the morning. So that was not expected. I mean, I'm disappointed by that Baron hit for sure. We are primed for an ectoplasm should we see one. So, okay, look at that score. With no steal is E59, which is, this is already bigger, I think, than the scoring requirements of the first, at least the first couple rounds of the next ante, but not the last round. So we could at least beat maybe the beginning, but let's just see. Okay, I'm committing to not playing anymore, but let's just see what voucher we get. I hate it so much. This feels like cruelty from the universe to get this far and not get the one voucher we want, but get the most hated voucher. The problem is if we don't take it, we're just likely to see it again. Do we get a voucher skip? And we get no voucher skip. Oh, wait. I forgot we're on plasma, so our scoring requirement's a little higher, but that's okay. We do fortuitously land on the serpent here, so scoring is no problem. Because we will have so many. But, like, the run is maybe killed because we didn't get the... we didn't get the retcon voucher. And we have not seen a voucher skip in thousands of years. I'm going to stop playing, but I'm going to look in here for an ectoplasm. No ectoplasm. We don't take wheels. We got Grimbone's custom trading card. Okay. I am going to call it there after 2 hours and 45 minutes. I'm disappointed. I feel disappointment. Like, this is insulting. I would have preferred finding, like, anything else, just because this one I hate so much. Like, at least other ones would have been like, okay. Like, the interest ones would be like, okay, that's a little more money. We're not making money that fast anymore, so, like, a little more money would be good, but we still only get, like, whatever, $5 interest per round. Bummer. What a deep bummer. There is a consideration for re-rolling a bit for random negatives because you could find a money-making common, but knowing that we would need to re-roll, even if things went perfectly, we would still have to re-roll to find the... We might just straight up be dead, right? For a couple of reasons. Because no matter what, to make it, sorry, I'm just having trouble finding the plasma deck scoring. So we would have to beat not just the next ante, but the following ante, obviously, but that is a ante that is, you can't play the serpent even if you have the reroll voucher. And so you have to be able to beat whatever that is, E77 or something, or whatever that is. Like, you have to be able to beat that without without messing around. Well, weird, what happened here? Let's see what that would look like. Okay, so let's go over here for a second. And let's go here. This is the calculator I've been using. So right now with this setup, if we had full steel, what would that look like? Like, how far could we go? Assuming a boss doesn't just kill us. E70 with level high card at 64 is kind of maxed out. Is where we'd max out. And unfortunately, anti-24, where we would have to win, like, honestly, we'd have to win with sorry, I'm trying to find the blind scaling for plasma, because I know it is at least a little different, but maybe once we're at these scores, it doesn't matter. Okay, right. Plasma doubles the score requirement, which doesn't mean that much, but it does mean that on anti-24, instead of, I mean, it basically means we need E68. So that's a pretty big number. E68's a large number. And I'm sorry, E78. So how could we do that? Like, how could we are 10 orders of magnitude, roughly 8 orders of magnitude, roughly below where we would need to be. What? By what trickery could we arrive there? Even if we got another ectoplasm, where we could get another blueprint, we would go down 2 hand size, which actually gives us a worse score. If we were able to not, if like, I guess a Hail Mary kind of thing is, if we were able to get, oopsie, wait, that's not right at all. Get where you're supposed to be. Sorry. 9, that's with 8, but that would be losing 2 hand size. You're right. It's not good enough. We add these back, and if we had gotten a blueprint instead of the Baron from the Invisible Joker, we'd only have E73. So even that's not enough. So, like, what could actually, like, get us through that boss? Really, that whole ante. One thing I would be curious about is, like, hand size versus additional jokers. Meaning, like, what if instead of, I know this is possible, and it may just be that I'm, like, fundamentally missing some detail, but, like, say we had a joker that did give some hand size, not 2, but 1. That is, wait, why did my score drop so dramatically? What have I done wrong here? Oh, right, because I got rid of the Baron to do this. So that's not that meaningful. A bean, I think, is meaningful. Oh, I'm sorry. It's because of this. I needed to, this doesn't do this automatically, of course. I would need to manually then go say, I have an extra card. So that takes me from 59 to 66, which is very substantial. If I got a bean instead of that other Baron, where I could have 5 extra cards, thusly, my score is absurd by the power of the bean. And in fact, even how much does it actually take? Like, to go from our current score, adding 1 hand was not enough. 2 hands was not enough, but 3 was not enough. So you actually don't need the bean the whole time even, because even if the bean has already started to like degrade, just getting the 3 extra cards is enough. So even after a couple rounds, the problem remains is, how do you beat the ante before that? Unless you like get a bean both times when you need a bean. A bean is uncommon. And as we've seen, our shop is polluted with garbage. How do you actually do it? It may just not be possible. Like, and maybe that the thing we were really supposed to do is when we were making money to just keep rolling for money, and that invisible joker was actually a distraction, and that we needed to just roll forever. Because short of perfectly timing 2 beans, a troubadour, actually. A troubadour is only 2 extra cards, though. Oops. Right? Troubadour I don't think is sufficient. I mean, I could just go watch I know there's a Balatro University video about this very topic, but if we had, I mean, I think the truth is you just need another blueprint or brainstorm, but the DNA. What if we had DNA? If you have DNA, then if we have DNA, we can do it. I think. I mean, having full steel seems challenging, but if we have DNA, then that means every round we play 1 card, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cards are added, right? And so we net 4 cards for the following hand, and then we play 1, and then we have 3. So we start with what is our hand size? Isn't it 9? We start with 9, right? We minus 1 is 8, plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 makes our hand size this, minus 1 to play makes our score this, if everything is steel. So DNA, we got to find a DNA. A DNA would let us maybe live long enough to find the voucher. That's kind of like the one thing then, actually. DNA, we need a DNA. So unfortunately, all this time that I haven't like actually been rolling, I should have been rolling. Ooh, look how weird the background looks. Okay, I'm gonna stop playing, and then I will pick this game up and we will try to find a DNA. How does that sound? Maybe tomorrow or some other day. We'll try to find a DNA, and that is the thing we would need to survive. And actually, it was a failure. It was a mistake to even try the Baron, or even try the what's his face, the Invisible Joker. The good news is we have a number of antes to, well, we kind of don't. Like, we really need to find the DNA in this ante, I think. And then we can survive long enough to get to ante 24. But the bummer is I had a DNA at a certain point, and then we saw that other DNA and we didn't take it, but it was actually probably the right thing to do. So, oopsie. The one consolation is, even if that was, pardon me, even if that was a misplay and I killed the run and I should have taken that DNA, we still don't have the boss reroll voucher, so like it kind of doesn't matter anyway. And then we would need to have enough money left over, and this is where we probably like have actually truly failed, is that we don't have an insane amount of money, because we would want to be able to re-roll enough to get the DNA to survive long enough to get past ante 24, and then roll for the burglar to get the extra hand size on the serpent. And even then, I don't exactly know about hitting Nana. Like, maybe, but the problem is we just have no money anymore at that point. Like, the money is, there's no more money. And taking an ectoplasm, which is a maybe thing, could kill us anyway. So I don't know. I don't know the answer, but I think the answer, one of the answers is I probably should have taken that last DNA saw, which is sad. So sorry, everyone. Sorry to myself. Sorry to you. But Stonecrop, thanks for sticking around. Anybody else who stopped by, thank you. Anyone watching on YouTube, thank you. And I'll finish this game at some point. Okay, bye.